Hi.
Yes, hello indeed, Thomas. Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome to a new video. This is the Experience 60 at Buckmore Park. My friend Adam Natha invited me to come and race with him in this 60-minute race. Now, it would be boring for us to start by qualifying, so instead we're going to start from the back of the grid, because that is a lot more fun. It's going to be tasty, and there are heavyweights and lightweights racing in this, and I was racing in the heavyweight, so I've got a red number plate on, that means heavy, and those drivers with the black number plates are light. So we're going to try to beat everyone and see what we can do. I've got half an hour to try to work through the field before swapping with Adam. I go to the outside because the track was still a bit damp into turn one, but it was fine on the middle of the circuit. So we move to the middle, we gain a few places, we're now going to send it up the inside. We can't go any later on the brake because there is a driver right in front of us. And now we're on the outside going into hairpin 2, so we're going to go on the outside. That allows us to get on the power earlier, so even though we lose a couple of positions initially, we do get a good exit and we're able to gain one position. We'll gain another one into the right-hander, and then I pull off a crazy move. Have a look at this. We're going to go round the outside of the left-hander. No one in the history of karting has ever done that overtake unless it's wet. Absolutely guaranteed. So that was just an incredible move, and you're witnessing the rise of a superstar karter. Absolutely. As I then try to go around the outside of the left, but that doesn't work, so we don't gain the position. But then I do another crazy move. Have a look at this send. We're going to send it really late up the inside. I don't know how I reacted to do that without absolutely yeeting the guy, but hey ho, I remember when I pulled it off, I was just like, there is no way I just did that overtake, because that felt crazy. We'll go up the inside into hairpin 2 as we try not to take out Mr. Black Suit in the process. But yeah, so far so good. A fairly good opening lap. We're kind of through the main bits of carnage, but we've got a few more overtakes to make, so we're going to go up the inside. Because we're starting from the back and working our way up through the field, it's really important that we what's the word for it? We work, or we make all of our overtakes really decisively, right? We can't hang about, we can't sit behind people, we have to be super decisive. Every single time I'm right behind someone, I need to go for an overtake. Like there, I thought I could close in by taking the inside line, but I realized it was still a bit damp and greasy, and I thought, okay, I need to stick with taking the wider line. Also, I hope you guys like the new camera. I bought a 360. I need to work on the camera angles. I think it's not zoomed in enough, so it gives like a weird distortion effect on the edges, which makes it look like people are further away than they actually are. So I will, for future races, zoom in a little bit more as we go up the inside into paddock, and this guy thankfully leaves us lots of room. But we're now through the main I don't really know. We've made our first set of overtakes. We've now got a gap in front of us before we catch up to the next train of cars. So let's see how quickly we can catch up to them. I'm using all of the track going into the corner, and then I'm trying to take a bit of a middle line. However, the inside line was pretty much dry. I just didn't realise it. When I tried to overtake that car before, because I turned in so early, I hit a wet patch, but I think the actual apex itself was fine. And now you're going to see how much I catch up to these karts in front through this downhill section. This is where real drivers are made. Just have a look at the gap in front of me, and look how much we close in through that sequence of corners. It's absolutely ridiculous. I do think I was gaining on some laps like half a second through there, but you can already see we are a lot closer, so we probably just need one, maybe two more laps, and then we'll be on to the back of them. But as I mentioned before, this is a half an hour race. You can see I'm still trying to get a little bit tighter, but I just wasn't really feeling the grip going into one, so I was still trying to take that slightly wider line, get my head down, clamber up through the field. I was having a little look around the circuit just to see where the race leaders were, and I hadn't really fallen too far back from them. And I think at this point I was probably up to about, from 34th, maybe I was in about 20th or so. But now you can really see just how much I've caught up to this group. I mean, in 2 laps we've caught what felt like about 2 seconds nearly. And now we've got our first driver to overtake, which is Mr. Dan Grocott, who is a driver that I raced against in the Sprint Championships a couple of seasons ago. I think he still races in the sprint, so he's a fairly decent driver as well. Probably like high C2 pace or mid C2 pace. And we're going to squeeze our way up the inside into hairpin 1. Dan sees us coming, he leaves us room, we've gained a position, and again, it's all about being decisive. I can't hang around. This is, you know, last and first. We've got to make the most of every single opportunity. And now, how do we overtake Mr. Neck Brace? He's wearing a neck, that's sad, he's wearing a neck brace. We're going to go up the inside. Some people might say, but a neck brace is for safety, Milky. I know. But still, the meme spot is if you wear a neck brace, you're a bandit. So, yeah. Anyway, we're behind Thomas Layton now, so we can... Oh, this camera angle's a lot better. I think I'll try to stick with a camera angle like this, maybe a little bit more zoomed in. Thomas goes up the inside, and we're going to be like, all right, thank you, I'll overtake the pair of you. I give a little thumbs up, let's go through the field, and Thomas decides, oh, thumbs up means I can go up the inside. I'm like, no you don't, Thomas. I give him a nice squeeze going into the left-hander so I can open up the corner as much as possible. I get the move done, and I give the old finger wag. Let's go. And it's essentially like me saying, when you give the finger wag, it means let's work together. But it also means, as there's an incident, I've got nowhere to go. I lose 1, 2, 3 positions in one corner. But it's not just the fact that I lost 3 positions. I lost 2 seconds, and now I've got to overtake them all over again. And to be honest, I think this incident probably over the race cost me over 5 seconds, because it would have cost me 1 to 2 seconds from the incident and a good few seconds just because I've now got to overtake all of these drivers all over again. So we're going to ease up the inside of hairpin 1 on Mr. John Coke, but he's still there. So now I've got to try to go round the outside. But it doesn't work, and at this point I was thinking, right, I can't waste any time. That was just really stupid, that incident. Genuinely nothing I could have done about that, so we're going to go up the inside into the right-hander. I'm then on the outside, I get a squeeze, but I'm going to keep my kart there and pull off the overtake. A little bit forceful, at least on the right going down the hill, but the final right-hander at the end, that was fine. He's the one who squeezed me in that scenario, so... Yeah, we've gained 1 position, moving forward a couple of laps. I'm starting to take this later apex, and we get a really nice run. We managed to get through, we gain another position, and now I've got to overtake Mr. Dan Grocott again before I can hunt down Mr. Thomas Layton. So, yeah, as I was saying, I quite like this new GoPro. You can also see my footwork, and I could never really see with my previous GoPros just how I'm on the throttle and brake, so this is absolutely fantastic. It's genuinely really cool to be able to watch just how I'm playing with the pedals. As we send it up the inside, we then release off the brakes, back on the throttle. I mean, that, just honestly, go back and watch that again, because that is one of the craziest sets I've ever done in my life. Fair play to Dan Grocott for seeing me and leaving me space, because another driver probably would have turned in. They probably would have been in their right to turn in, and that could have been an incident. But I try to take the wide line, and that actually allows Mr. Grocott to go back up my inside. And that's when I realised, okay, Milky, the inside line is probably quicker. I need to start taking that dry line instead of sticking on this wet line, because the wet line is dry, but so is the dry line. So obviously the dry line will be quicker. A couple of laps later, we catch up to Mr. Thomas Layton. We're going to give him a nice push on the straight, because I didn't really want to go up the inside into 1. I wanted just to have a feel of what the grip levels were like, and it felt okay. It didn't feel super solid, but it was definitely dry enough. And I think Thomas saw me coming, and this time he doesn't want to fight me. He gives me a wave through, and through we go up into probably about 13th or something at this point, maybe 15th. But we get our heads down, we catch up to another group of karts. These two have a little coming together. That means I can overtake one of them nice and simply. And now it's time to overtake the G3 drivers. We go back to a slightly zoomed out camera angle. Honestly, I could do like multiple camera angles with this GoPro, but it is just too much effort as we slide up the inside into hairpin 1. Nice and simply, I give a thumbs up. He then, you can see on the picture-in-picture that he tried to poke his nose on my outside, which is the racing line, and obviously I ended up turning across it because I had no idea he was there until I felt contact with his car, and I just thought, why would you put your car there? But anyway, you can see how much we're catching up to Mr. Ham and Mustard in front of us through that downhill section. Honestly, that downhill section just feels so good for me. But we got a decent run. We're going to tuck into the slipstream. I can't remember if this driver in front of me is a heavy or light. I'm sure we'll see soon when we overtake. But I'm just going to give a nice little push down the straight. He goes a little bit faster than normal, so he outbrakes himself. We make both apexes, we get the move done. And for anyone saying that was a push to pass, I didn't push him in the braking zone. I pushed him on the straight just before the braking zone, which is perfectly fine. It's up to him to be able to adjust his braking point and make the corners. We get a nice run through turn 1 and I guess 2, and we're going to go up the inside of Giles Coke, get the overtake done, and now we've got one more driver to overtake. I have a bit of a moment with the rear end. I think Giles tried to poke his nose up my inside and there was a bit of contact, and we have caught up to Mr. Black Suit and White Helmet, and we're going to send it up the inside. He sees me coming, he opens up the steering, and through we go. And once again, oh, never mind, he's going to send it up our inside. Fair play. I mean, no, rude, but okay, fair play. We're going to show him how to pull off a sexy overtake now. So we're going to be right on him, really slow, because everyone's just very slow through that section. We get a really good exit because we go for the switchback, but it's not a good exit enough because he's a lightweight, so he got a good run. So I have to send it up the inside going into the Garda. So it's not quite a sexy overtake, but through we go. And a few laps later, we catch up to Mr. Silver Helmet. How are we going to overtake this guy? For some reason, I really don't like sending people into paddock. He carries too much speed through the left, that compromises him through the right, so we're going to go for a switchback. But we don't really get a great exit, so send up the inside of Garda once again. And now a big gap to the next kart in front that I've got to try to catch. And here I put my hand up because I wanted to signal that I was going to pit, but the driver in front of me also goes into the pits, and I probably could have overtaken him on pit lane entry, but then I could have got a black flag, so I just thought I'll stay out for another lap. And also the driver in front of me, I didn't know this at the time, but the driver in front of me is actually currently running 3rd place in the heavyweight class. So I was 4th in the heavyweights, I was now 8th overall, having started in 34th. So in half an hour, we went from 34th up to 8th position. So not too bad. What we really need right now is a safety car. Yeah, there's not going to be a safety car, guys. Let's be honest, it's karting. So this time I am going to come into the pits. You can see on the picture-in-picture that I've put my hand up and I've got it up through this entire section, and we're going to dive into the pits. Now, we also had a weight change to make, so I had to, coming into the pits, remove the pin from the weight post, and that just meant that I didn't come into the pits as fast as maybe I could have, which cost us a bit of time. I'm going to come on the brakes. I've got one hand on the lead, so as I come out I can pull one piece of lead and then I grab the next piece of lead. Adam then heads out onto circuit, and we don't really lose any time because there's a mandatory like chain lubing process that has happened. So I think we didn't lose too much time from the weight stop, like at most maybe 1 to 2 seconds through the entire pit phase. So I'm quite happy with that pit stop because it was a good stop. And now we can watch Adam Nather flinging his way through the field. He's going to send it up the inside of John Cook. He made it look easy. Like, I took 4 corners to overtake that guy, and Adam's done it in a single corner. And now we're behind Mr. White Helmet. Remember that helmet and suit, because this is going to be important later. We've also caught up to Mr. Blue Suit Boz up the inside. Great move into paddock, but Mr. White Helmet is rude. He's going to come back at us going into Garda, and that's just so silly from Mr. White Helmet. Like, do you really think you're faster than Adam Nather? Like, bro, you need to get into your place, son. But I was thinking about this and I realized I think people are scared of me. They see my suit, my helmet coming through, and they're like, oh, it's that absolute nutcase Milky Cereal. Let's stay away from him. But then when Adam Nather overtakes, they're like, it's a cute cuddly teddy bear. Let's fight him again. As Adam goes up the inside into hairpin 2, and thankfully this back marker then backs off to let Adam through, which means Mr. White Helmet can't get the exit on the outside. So second time's the charm, and through we go. But we've now lost like a second, 2 seconds to Mr. Blue Suit Boz up ahead, and we've got to gain all of that time. And Adam sends it up the inside into Garda. Let's go, son. He's wasting no time at all. I thought I was being decisive at the start of the race, but Adam is on a whole other level of decisiveness right now. So let's see how much we can gain through the first couple of corners. Adam's actually taking the dry line and making it work, which I couldn't do, so fair play to him. As salty as I am about that. But Boz goes up the inside. We try to follow through, but we're now on the outside. We're going to hang it around the outside. Ooh, Ooh, different camera angle. This is like low and sleek. We do make the move work, but again, we lose like a second to Boz in the process. So it's like every time we gain a position, we then have to gain it all back up again. And at this point, Boz was 4th because the guy in front of him, Woodsy Will, is 3rd in the heavyweight class. So I think we were like 10th overall or something at this point. Adam tries to push Mr. White Suit along, but it doesn't work, and now we're behind the back marker. And once again, after catching up to Boz, he's now over a second ahead of us. But Adam's going to send it into turn 1. What a mad lad. That was an absolutely fantastic overtake. We make it work. He makes it work. And now we can catch up to Mr. Blue Suit Boz once again. Blue Suit Boz? Boz Blue Suit? I don't know. But anyway, BBC. Blue Boz Carter, right? But yeah, we catch up, so I don't know where these jokes are coming from. They're coming from some repressed part of my mind. I'm sorry, guys. Boz goes up the inside. We can't really follow through, so we've got to sit behind, and we cry a little. But Adam, we saw that send into turn 1 last lap. Surely it's coming again. Go on, send it, son. Oh, what a send! But he's outbraked himself. He loses 1, and Mr. White Helmet comes through once again. So 2 times wasn't enough to get past this guy. We're now going to have to overtake him a 3rd time, like 3 times to overtake one driver. I think Adam is slacking a little bit here, or maybe he just really likes overtaking this one particular driver, so we're just going to do it again and again. Also, notice how Boz is now 2 seconds ahead once again, but we're going to go up the inside into the right-hander. Mr. White Helmet goes wide, or I probably should say Mr. Red Suit. There's too many white helmets otherwise. And we overtake Mr. Red Suit for a 3rd and final time. And now we can try to get our heads down and catch up to Mr. Boz once again. To be fair, I mean, I'm not going to spoil where we finished, but I think we could have done a bit better if it wasn't for like this 5 minutes where Adam was absolutely flying, but just had issues getting past some drivers and just got really unlucky. So surely, right, where do we overtake Mr. White Helmet? This is going to be a send. I think this is going to be a send down into padding. And let's watch the master at work. The master who doesn't use all the track, misses the apex. He does get this apex. Is he going to send it? Oh no, he pushes him into the corner. Nice push to pass Adam, trying to get us a black flag and a penalty. And Mr. Red Suit, I'm done. Yeah, I'm leaving. So, Mr. Red Suit has no respect whatsoever. After being overtaken 3 times by the GOAT, Adam Nather, he tries to overtake him again. Instead of working with us and pushing us along, even though, you know, we caught up to Mr. Red Suit and overtook him. This, guys, is called bad racing mindset. And so, okay, Adam, right, I get that you're frustrated, but we can't just push people like that, okay? So this is called No Racing Brains from Mr. Red Helmet. That's his new name, No Racing Brains. I'm joking. That's a bit rude, but he's got no racing brains because he should be working, because all that's going to happen now is Adam's going to have to send him again, and we're going to lose a whole bunch of time. Let's watch this. Up the inside we go. We're going to make the move work. Do we? Yes, we give him a nice squeeze on exit and we're through. And all that happened is Mr. Red Suit lost time. So did that work out for you, buddy? No, it didn't. Next time, sit behind. Anyway, Adam is a GOAT, and we catch up to Mr. Blue Suit Boz once again. Like, that was 3-4 seconds. We have a little bit of contact. Oh, Adam, you can't go side by side into there. Maybe Boz should have backed out. I don't know. John said you can't go side by side, and that was always going to end badly. But what a sender up the inside into paddock. But Adam's a gentleman. He let Boz through. But Mr. Blue Suit Boz, instead of being thankful for it, he shakes his head. He's upset, and I think it's time to unleash Adam Nather's inner demons. To be honest, I think that overtake was okay. I think it might have been a bit sketchy going into the left-right. Maybe Boz should have backed out. I don't know. To be fair, he did give Adam a bit of a squeeze. So anyway, Adam gets a really good exit. Too far back to go for a ascent, and we were on the wrong side. So yeah, at this point, I think Woodsy Will, who was 3rd place in class, was too far ahead to really catch. So Boz was just going to defend for 4th place in the endurance category. We get a really nice run through the right-hander, but Boz just seems to get a better drive coming out of that low-speed corner. To be fair, I did think that the car we had was fairly good, but maybe Boz just has a slightly better car at bottom end. I don't know. Anyway, Boz is going to go up the inside of another red suit, and we are going to follow through impeccably. And can we get the run out of hairpin 1? Because this is where Adam, I think, is very quick. And we get a really good run. I think we're close enough to go for the send. Oh, that's a little bit physical. I don't know if Boz turned in early. He's not happy. He then turns into us on the straight. Now, that's unacceptable. You can't turn into someone on the straight. That's out of order. Regardless of what happened before, even though I would do it myself. But heading through paddock, we get a good run. Can we go up the inside? Boz is going to go defensive. Well, of course he's going to go defensive. We're now mortal enemies. This is going to be a full-on-fist fight, and I am here for it. So, ladies and gents, get your popcorn out, because this is going to be something for the ages. How do we lose 2 positions? It's Mr. Red Suit again. We overtook Red Suit 4 times, and now we're going to have to do it a 5th time. But Red Suit goes up the inside of Boz. Can we follow through? Well, we try to, but now we're on the outside going into hairpin 2. We're going to have to back off. We tried to get the switchback coming out of the corner, but that's not going to work. And now we have lost 2 positions, so I think that put us down to 12 at this point or something. And we're too far back to go up the inside into paddock. So this is just frustrating. We've lost so much time in this little scrap that's been going on. And yeah, what also happened, I will say, is that the driver in 3rd or 2nd, Matt Horgan, his chain came off, which promoted Boz from 4th to 3rd. So this was now a battle for 3rd place in the heavyweight category, and it was very, very important. So yeah, well, it came off on the last lap of the race. So at this point, this was still the battle for 4th, but it became the battle for 3rd. We get a nice move up the inside, but Boz just gets a better drive coming out of the corner, taking a wider line. Steering wheel's a little bit more open, and we've fallen back once again. Adam Nather, come on, son. We got to get him for 3rd place. What a run we get out of paddock, but again, not quite the perfect run. Boz goes to the outside. Mr. Red Suit, thank you. Thank you, Red Suit. We're through. We can forgive Mr. Red Suit for re-overtaking us 4 times, because he's finally done us a solid. Thank you, Mr. Red Suit. You are a true genius. I forgive you. I forgive myself and apologize for all the insults I made towards you and saying you had no racing brain. You have the greatest of brains. It's a big, thick coconut brain. Anyway, we get a run coming out of hairpin 2. Now we've got to overtake Mr. Red Suit for a 5th time, but we've got to do it nicely, because remember, he was nice to us for us to overtake Boz. So we have to be gentle with how we overtake, and he's going to defend from us. No, you don't defend from Adam Nather. It doesn't work. No one can keep Adam Nather behind except for Boz. Boz is Adam Nather's greatest nemesis. As we go through turn 1, we get a really good run. Go on, Adam. Send. That's not sending him. That's sitting behind him, Adam. But we got a good run through hairpin 1. Send him into hairpin 2. Go on. Yeah. That's what we like to see. Oh, we give him a little squeeze as well. Adam, that's not how you thank him for helping us to overtake Boz. Guys, I'm really sorry for Adam's lack of manners. I will sort that out as we get a new camera angle. A super zoomed in camera angle. I won't use this later. But it's the final lap of the race, and we're catching up to Mr. Tom Layton. And come on, Adam, we can't finish the race behind Thomas. We've got to put a lap on him for the memes, for the shits and giggles. No, don't push Thomas. I know he's your friend, right? But we need to overtake him, because that way we can laugh at him, Adam, okay? Right, we know where Adam's going to overtake him. It's going to be a send into paddock. Let's get ready for what's going to be the greatest overtake that we've ever seen. Oh, this is not how you line him up. Oh, it is. What a send. Up the inside goes Natham, and through goes Layton. Adam, you got overtaken by Thomas Layton. That is just embarrassing. And on that bombshell, we're going to end this video. Thank you guys for watching. And next time we do the last to first challenge, we'll win.